Dear students, today we shall discuss on Indian caste system. You know that caste is very familiar to all of us. This is not unknown, but it is very unique to Indian social system. So it has much sociological significance. Today we shall learn about the meaning and characteristic of the caste system. But before that, we should have some idea on the Indian social structure, because the concept caste is coming under the unit 2, that is social structure of your second paper, Indian society, right? So what is social structure? So we should understand first, sociologically saying, the social structure is that which refers to a definite pattern of interaction. We know that in the world there are many kind of societies, right? But each society has its unique occurrence, it has its unique existence. So the inner values of that society that define and dictate the pattern of interaction or the interrelationship that exists between the members of that society. For that, each society is very unique and different. So in that sense, Indian society has its unique existence. So how do you understand the meaning of social structure? Without understanding the social structure of any society, we cannot understand the basic components of that society. As we came to know that social structure refers to a definite pattern of interaction that exists between individual members or between social groups of that society, right? So in that sense, what is the meaning of or you can say what are the components of Indian social structure? What comprise Indian social structure which make it exceptional or unique in the world? So basically, as we understand that it has a rich tradition, it has a rich past. So all the treasures of knowledge, the wisdom of the past that enrich our culture, okay? So it is based on some, basically it is based on the collective values of the society, what we understand in the form of humanism, spiritualism and collectivism. And another important element that gives unique identity to Indian social structure is the cultural diversity, right? So how we understand cultural diversity? It is basically determined by its religious, regional, ethnic, linguistic and tribal diversity and much more. There are many components which are not similar to each other, whether it's about religion, language, dialects, you know, all are in diverse form, right? And another important component of Indian social structure is its strong institutional basis. So what are the institutions you must have learned in your paper 1? Institution which refers to a long established social order, जहाँ को हमें ओडिया रे कहिबा गोटे सामाजिक व्यवस्था बा प्रथा. तो ए हिसाब रे हमर विभिन्न प्रकार व्यवस्था रही, सामाजिक स्तर रे, राजनैतिक स्तर रे, अर्थनैतिक स्तर रे, शिक्षागत सांस्कृतिक स्तर रे हमर बहुत गुटे व्यवस्था रही. सेमते आमे जेतेबेले सामाजिक व्यवस्था कथा कहूचे, caste system is an important segment or component to the Indian social structure or Indian cultural system. Then we shall move to the 3 main pillars of the Indian society, among which caste system is regarded as one of the most significant one. So among these 3 main pillars, we understand village community number 1, then joint family and then caste system. And dear students, you are very acquainted and familiar with these 3 major characteristics of the Indian society which comprise the total Indian social structure. So today's discussion we'll focus on the third pillar of the Indian society, which is caste system. It is very interesting in itself because it is not of recent origin. Since many thousand years, you can say, it is with us, or you can say since time immemorial, it is with us. Though regarding origin of the caste system, there are many debates and discussion. We are not going into that part. Simply we shall discuss the meaning and characteristic of the caste system. Okay? So, we shall move to the meaning of the caste system. As we know that caste system, it has evolved from the Varna model of the ancient society. So, earlier form of social differentiation was in the Varna system. So, Varna system, as you know, it divides the society between 4 major social categories: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Sudras, right. So, Brahmins, they always enjoy the topmost position in the society. They are given the highest status in the society, and gradually, which was this kind of Varna model was not hereditary. It was not hierarchical during that time period. It was basically meant for the division of labor. जहाँ को आम साधारण भाव में कहले जो श्रम सामाजिक श्रम विभाजन गोटे सामाजिक व्यवस्था को आगु को नबा को हेले तार बहुत गुडे जो कार्य धारा बा पद्धति बा शैली रही ताकू आमे विभिन्न गोष्ठीर लोकों भितर विभक्त करिथाउ। तो एपरि भाव में आमर वर्ण सिस्टम केवल ब्राह्मण क्षेत्रीय वैश्य और शूद्र रे विभक्त हेइथिला, किंतु कालक्रमे देखागला जे ए सबो जो डिविजन्स वंशानुक्रमिक भाव में आगु चलिला. So from where the caste system derived, and right now if you look at the statistics of the number of caste system, you will be amazed to know that there are more than 3,500 number of caste groups and subcaste groups which are there in our Indian society. So this if you look at the growth of caste system, it is of much old. It is said that since last you can say for more than 2,500 years, caste has taken to this form, and it dictates almost all aspects of our social life. There is nothing in our collective life which is excluded from the caste system. आम सामाजिक जीवन प्रत्येकटी विभाग जाति द्वारा बा जाति व्यवस्था द्वारा प्रभावित आउ अनुप्राणित है. सो समग्र पृथ्वी रे जो जाति व्यवस्था आम देश रे रही एहा गोटे आम देश को गोटे बा आम सामाजिक व्यवस्था को गोटे स्वतंत्र परिचय प्रदान करे. ओके, so moving to next, so what we understand that caste system is relevant to Indian society, and it forms that as a traditional basis of the Indian social stratification, and that stratification which is based on one's birth in a particular caste group. ता अर्थ प्रत्येक व्यक्ति को एक निर्दिष्ट परिवार रे जतबेले जन्म हुए से परिवार जो जाति परिचय थाए से आधार रे व्यक्तिर जाति परिचय तैयारी हुए. So that means the caste identity of a person is based on his birth in a particular family, or when he belongs to a particular caste group on the basis of birth. That is most important. So that is how caste system forms a traditional basis of social stratification. Why do we say that it forms a basis of the social stratification? Because social stratification always refers to a hierarchical arrangement. What do you mean by hierarchical arrangement? When social positions are not placed in the equal order, they are placed in a high, low order. That means the rank or the position of the peoples are not on the equal state. So accordingly the status, privilege, power, resources, whatever given to the person or to the group of person, that differs on the basis of caste background, right? So this is how caste determine the traditional Indian society, and it becomes a determining factor, a very strong determining factor of Indian social stratification, which was prevalent during ancient age, and it became very acute and rigid during medieval period, and now in the modern society still caste rules and dominates the Indian social life. Okay. So, if you understand that caste system is unique to the Indian society, that means as if caste system does not prevail anywhere in the world. It is not like that. There are many historical evidences which says that caste as a social pattern, or the caste type of social pattern, was also existing in many European countries, in many Middle East countries, and also in some of the North African countries, like in the country of Egypt, Mexico, Peru, Spain, Portugal. Those are the countries where we have the historical traces of existing caste system, but it was not on the basis of the birth of a person as we have in our society. The type of caste system which was prevalent during those time period, it was basically on the basis of the type of occupation that people were holding, right. So, that occupation was determining the socio-economic condition of the people, and that is how it led to social segregation. What do you mean by social segregation? ताको आमे ओडिया रे कहबा जे सामाजिक पृथकीकरण। गोटे निर्दिष्ट गोष्ठीर लोक माने जेतेबेले गोटे निर्दिष्ट जीविका को अवलंबन करती से माने गोटे निर्दिष्ट जीवन बंची थांती। ताहा कालक्रमे जेतेबेले हेरिडिटरी हो जाए बा वंशानुक्रमिक हो जाए तो सेमाने गोटे सामाजिक कैटेगरी बा सोशल कैटेगरी को फॉर्म करती। से भली सोशल कैटेगरी पृथ्वीर सबु समाज रे सबु देश रे देखिबा को मिले। एंड व्हेन यू से दैट कैटेगरी इज हेरिडिटरी, दैट मीन्स इट इज बीइंग फॉलोड सिंस मेनी जनरेशन, so that becomes a social system, and it gives rise to a hierarchical pattern of the society. So caste system was also existing in those countries, though now the things are different. Okay. Now we shall move to meaning of the concept called caste system. So when you try to understand the conceptual origin of the word caste system, we must understand that caste is derived from a Portuguese word called casta. It is also a Spanish word because during that time, Spain and Portuguese, they belong to the same monarchical governance. So rather it would be better to say this originally it's a Spanish word, because Portuguese have first entered into India, so they started using the word caste. They started to identify the caste group of our society. So we say that the English word caste is derived from the Portuguese word casta, right. So what is the meaning of the word casta? Casta refers to a group of people with common identity. Basically, it refers to the meaning of race, lineage, tribe or breed. Okay. This is also mentioned in John Minsui's dictionary, a Spanish dictionary published in 1569. Okay. So, what is the meaning of the word casta? It refers to the group of people who have been descended from a common source. So, casta always refers to a group of people which has a common descent, जो माने एक निर्दिष्ट सोर्स रु सेमाने वंशानुक्रमिक भाबरे तांकर जीवन अतिबाहित करंती, राइट। एही भली भाबरे गोटे सामाजिक व्यवस्था गढ़ी हेई आसीची। तो दिस इज व्हाट वी अंडरस्टैंड द कंसेप्चुअल मीनिंग ऑफ द कास्ट सिस्टम। Then we shall move to the definition of the caste system. The first of all, we shall discuss about the definition of G.S. Ghurye. You know that G.S. Ghurye is a very prominent Indian sociologist who has made extensive study on Indian caste system. He has written a book by the name Caste and Race in India, published in 1932. Okay? and what he has written about the meaning of the caste system. So, from where we can know about the definition of the caste. He writes that castes are small and complete social worlds in themselves, marked off definitely from one another, though subsisting within the larger society. So, this definition clearly indicates that every caste group is very consolidated and self-sufficient in nature. What do you mean by that? That means each caste group or subcaste group has its own life pattern. It is very much complete within. All the habits, behavioral patterns, their lifestyle is very much dictated by the prevailing norms of that caste group. Okay? So, Ghurye says that the caste is a small and complete social world. Okay? And for that it is different than the other caste group. But when you combine or take collectively, then we find that it contribute to the larger whole. So, this is how he defined the caste system and how the different caste group comprise the whole social system. So, we learned about Ghurye's definition on caste, how he defines about the self-sufficiency nature of the caste system. It defines each caste group or subcaste group as a complete world. So, next we shall discuss about the definition of M.N. Srinivas, right. M.N. Srinivas in his book Caste in Modern India and Other Essays published in the year 1962 has defined caste system, which is very interesting and it is very pragmatic also in one way. So, what is the definition of M.N. Srinivas? He says that caste is a hereditary, endogamous, usually localized group having a traditional association with an occupation and a particular position in the local hierarchy of caste system. Okay. So, here M.N. Srinivas, like Ghurye, he also speaks about caste system as something hierarchical and hereditary. But what is the difference in the opinion of M.N. Srinivas and J.S. Ghurye? Here M.N. Srinivas says that caste is a very localized social group. It has a regional impact. That means the hierarchical arrangement of the caste groups in the social system is not same everywhere. So, if in one particular society we see that Brahmin holds a topmost position, not necessary that in other part of the country the Brahmins will hold their dominance. So, in other parts of the country maybe some other upper caste group members exercise its dominance. So, it is very regional ba taku ame kahi pariba eta ancholiko ba gote particular locality ro culture तार values तार जो स्वतंत्र रही सेटा निर्धारित करुची से अंचलर जाति व्यवस्था बा जो जाति संरचना किभली हेबो. So, M.N. Srinivas says that caste is a localized group. In Odisha we know we have different kind of caste group and like the Khandayat, Karan caste group, but एमिति caste group अलगा राज्य मानकरे आमे देखिबा को मिलबा पाइबानी. सेठी अलगा प्रकारर अलगा नाधारी नार अन्य भिन्न भिन्न जाति गोष्ठी माने अछंती. तो M.N. Srinivas एया ही कहया को चाहुचंती जे जाति प्रथाटा आम देश रे यूनिफॉर्म नुहे बा सबु जगह रे समान भाबरे नाही. So, it is very much localized but it is important to understand that it is associated with the hereditary occupation बा जाति और जीविका ए दीटा जाको बहुत अंगांगी भाबरे जड़ित. Okay, and that determines the local hierarchy of the caste system, which is different from one locality to another locality. Okay. So, moving to next, Another important sociologist, A.L. Kroiber, in his book An Article on Caste in Encyclopedia of Social Science, published in 1939, has defined the caste system by saying that it is an endogamous and hereditary subdivision of an ethnic unit occupying a position of superior or inferior rank or social esteem in comparison with other social subdivisions. So, what is the uniqueness in the definition of Kroiber? Kroiber relates here caste system with the stratification by saying that different caste groups or different ethnic groups or the subdivisions of the ethnic group that occupy different social positions based on superiority and inferiority. Then higher caste people, they are supposed to enjoy a degree of superiority because all statuses, privileges are granted to them. And the low caste people, they have comparatively lesser amount of status, privileges, and they have a very poor access to societal resources. So, comparatively they have a sort of inferior status. So, this is how it makes a grading pattern or a ranking divisions or ranking pattern of the society. जहाँ को हमें कहिबा जे गुटे समाज को आमे विभिन्न श्रेणी रे विभक्त करूछे. सो ए जो सुपीरियरिटी और इन्फेरियरिटी पोजीशन अच्छी समाज रे ताहा जाति प्रथा को भिन्न भिन्न भाग रे विभक्त करूची जोटा कि समान स्तर रे नाही किछिटा उपरे किछिटा तले एपरि भाबरे उच्च नीच क्रम रे सजाड़ी हेकी रहिची. So, if you look at these three important definitions, we find that in the Ghure's definition, what he speaks about? He speaks about self-sufficiency nature of the caste system, and in the second definition, when we take note of Emin Srinivas, we come to know about the regional impact on the caste system, the regional uniqueness of the caste system, and in the third definition of Kroiber, we relate caste system with the social stratification. Okay? So, this is how we receive a broad picture of the caste system in Indian society. Okay? So, if you look closely to all this definition of the caste system, what we find that broadly we can interpret caste from two angles. One is the structural angle, another one is the functional angle. Okay? Let me write over here. Structural, another one is cultural. So, caste interpretation may be of structural type, it is may be of cultural type. So, in some definition, when you say that caste system contributes to Indian social stratification, that means it gives a structural meaning to the caste system. Okay? It refers to a pattern interaction on the basis of social prescription and restrictions. Okay? That is how it contributes to make up the whole stratified arrangement of the Indian social system. Okay? And in other way, we can also define or interpret caste from the cultural perspective or caste as a practice. So, most of the anthropologists, they are interested in this aspect of the caste system, which speaks about the day-to-day behavioral practices that based upon a set of values, beliefs and practices, okay, which exist between different caste groups. Okay. So, cultural interpretation of the caste system that define and dictate the in-group, in the intergroup and intra-group behavioral setup. What is intra-group and what is intergroup? In intra-group is that which speaks about the behavioral pattern between the members of the same caste group. Okay. How the members, they must behave with each other while they are remaining within the same caste group. And what is intergroup behavior? Intergroup behavior is that where the individual members of particular caste group, they learn how to behave with the members of the outside caste groups. Okay. So, there is prescriptions, there is already everything is patterned by the caste system, ba sabu kichi sthirikruta, sabu kichi nirdharita, ताकू आम यहीपरि भाव में कहीपर। तो व्यक्ति व्यक्ति मध्य संपर्क जहाँ गोटे निर्दिष्ट गोष्ठीर जाति मध्य देखा जाए आउ सेटा को आम कहवा कौन इंट्रा कास्ट बिहेवियर। ओके आउ गोटे है इंटर कास्ट बिहेवियर जहाँ भिन्न भिन्न जाति गोष्ठीर लोकों भितर जो इंटरैक्शनल पैटर्न आम देखा मिली था पाई था है। So, we can understand the caste behavior from within the caste and also from outside the caste, how the individual members they behave among each other belonging to different caste groups. So, it has also a specific social norms, it has its specific social prescriptions, how to behave and how to prepare the code of conduct, which is already mentioned and structured. Okay, moving to next. So, here if you take account of the Bugle's definition, which is published in 1958, it had its fine combination of this structural and cultural interpretation of the caste system, right. So, structurally when you say that caste make up the social stratification, that means caste are hereditarily specialized and hierarchically arranged group. Okay. And culturally also when we say that caste system based upon these important elements like repulsion, specialization and hierarchical pattern. Okay. With this we understand Bugle's definition. So, we learned about the definition of the caste system by going through Ghure's ideas, Amenshuniba's ideas and Bugle's idea. So, Bugle idea is more comprehensive because it includes both the structural and cultural interpretation of the caste system. Okay. Now, we can move to the characteristic of the caste system. Why characteristic is important? Because characteristic of any concept that provides a detailed idea or the knowledge on the particular concept, right. So, while moving to characteristic, the first characteristic is segmental division of society. So, what do you mean by segmental division of the society? That means the society is segmented or divided into many groups and subgroups. Okay. So, when you speak about caste system, it is not in uniform state. There are many caste groups, there are many subcaste groups. So, what we find that there are more than 3,500 number of caste or subcaste groups, right. So, and all those caste and subcaste group has their unique position in the society. प्रत्येक जाति बा उपजाति रो समाज रे गोटे स्वतंत्र स्थान रहिछि. As already pointed out by Ghure, that it is a complete world in itself. That means each caste group is very consolidated. The members of the caste group need not to think what to wear, what to eat or how to work. Every details of their life is very much prescribed and patterned. ए सबु किछि आगरु दिया जाइछि बा सबु किछि निर्धारित. So, a members of a particular caste group knows what kind of occupation that he is going to take up in future, what should be the dietary pattern, what should be the housing condition, everything is pattern जहाँ को आमे कहबा सब किछि निर्धारित बा स्थिरीकृत जाति व्यवस्था रे हैला. तो एहा गोटे कोन करे ना गोटे सेगमेंटल स्ट्रक्चर बा ताको डिवीजन सब डिवीजन जहाँ को आमे साधारण भाव रे कहबा गोटे समाज को ताहा विभक्त करे. गोटे एग्जांपल नु देबी जेमति कि बेंगल रे गोटे कास्ट ग्रुप अछंती जोटा कि हम ओडिसा रे भी अछंती तांको आमे तेली कास्ट ग्रुप कहितबा. सो तेली पूरी दीटा सब कास्ट ग्रुप रे डिवाइडेड. Okay. So, Teli caste group in Bengal is divided into two subcaste group. One is Tilli, okay. Another one is Teli, right. This caste group is found in Bengal, West Bengal, right. So, what is the difference in between two subcaste group? Teli basically they sell oil. से माने बाजार को जाइकरी जहाँ तेल प्रोड्यूस करी थांती ताकू से माने बिक्री करी थांती हैला. And what is the task of Tili caste group? They press oil. Press oil ता अर्थ से माने oil तैयारी करंती, produce करंती. So Tili caste group produce oil and Teli caste group sell oil. Okay. So accordingly we understand that each subcaste group has its assigned task, what type of activity that is going to take up, and accordingly they are also ranked in the social order. So if you look at the Tili subcaste group and Teli subcaste group, we find that this Teli subcaste group, that they occupy higher position than Tili caste group. Similarly, in Odisha you will find another caste group called Keuta. Okay, Keuta, which is found in Odisha. Okay. अच्छा केउटा जाति विषय तो आम समस्ते जानीचे किंतु एमाने भी दी प्रकार सबकास्ट ग्रुप अच्छा जहाँ को आम कहीपर मछधरा केउट आ गोटे कौन चूड़ाकुटा केउट. हाँ, मछधरा केउट जो मैंने मछ धरती नई रू जाइए मछ धरती आ चूड़ाकुटा केउट जो मैंने चूड़ा तैयारी करती है. तो यहीपरि भाव में भी श्रेणी करा जाइछि. मछधरा केउट चूड़ाकुटा केउटों ठुरु टिके उन्नत मानर. तो कहिबार अर्थ है समग्र समाज सामाजिक व्यवस्था जाति प्रथा माध्यम बहुत गुड़े विभाग रे विभक्त होता है ताहाको आमे कहिबा सेगमेंटल डिविजन ऑफ द सोसाइटी. ओके, एंड ईच कास्ट और सबकास्ट ग्रुप इज वेरी कंप्लीट इन within itself because it's all social, cultural, economic, educational, all other activities are very much given or patterned, right? Now come to the next characteristic of the caste system, social hierarchy. What do you mean by hierarchy? Hierarchy, as the word suggests, the ranking pattern where the things are not placed in the equal footage. जोटा कि सबकि जिनस को गोटे समान स्तर में रखा जाए ना ताको गोटे उच्च नीच क्रम रे रखा जाइछि ताको आमे कहिबा हायरार्की. तो जाति प्रथा गोटे एही भली एक व्यवस्था जहाँ समाज रे उच्च नीच क्रम रे रखा जाय थाए. तो इट लुक्स लाइक अ पिरामिड. हाउ डज इट लुक? जाति प्रथा व्यवस्था इट लुक्स लाइक अ पिरामिड. ओके, लेट मी जस्ट वाइप इट आउट. It looks like a pyramid. What is the impression of this picture? That there are different layers. There are different layers in the society. At the bottom layer, there are low caste group. Okay, and at the top layer, there are high caste group. Okay, high caste group, and in between there are intermediary caste groups. तो ये जो एटा गोटे पिरामिड भलिया देखा जाउची जो माने तल स्तर रहिले जो हमर ग्रेडिंग पैटर्न अछि सामाजिक स्तरीकरण व्यवस्था सेतिरे निम्न जातिर लोक माने एठी देखंतु समाजर तल स्तर रे अछंती ताटू ऊपर रहिले तांकोठू जो माने उच्च स्तर रे जो जाति गोष्ठी माने अछंती बा इंटरमीडिएट कास्ट ग्रुप दे ऑक्युपाई द मिडल पोजीशन इन द सोसाइटी एंड अबव देम it is the upper strata of the society is occupied by the higher caste groups like Brahmins or other caste group, right? So this is how it looks like a pyramid. I can also show you through another pictorial form. See, this is the picture. So what we gain from this picture, that Indian caste system basically, as we know, it is derived from the Varna model. And the Brahmin are supposed to hold the topmost position in the social hierarchy. So they occupy the top rank. Okay, so they enjoy all statuses, privileges, and power in the society. So they have very easy access to all kind of societal, whatever resources are there. And next to Brahmin it is the group of Kshatriyas, then comes Vaishyas, and then come Shudras, and below to Shudras it is the group of Dalits or the untouchables, who were added in the later part of the Vedic age, which is not directly coming under the Varna model, but this is how we, when you look at this type of structure of caste divisions, then we find that it looks like a pyramid. Okay. So, coming to our previous discussion, that hierarchy, that on the basis of differential position of the caste group, the differential amount of reward, award, status, privileges are accorded or given to different caste groups differently. So, there are unequal distribution of power and the rewards, which is very much religiously defined. So, you may ask a question, why people were not reacting during that period. Now, lots of awareness, education, consciousness has come into us. So, we are reacting to a certain practice which is going against the interest of a particular caste group, but it was not happening during early period, particularly during medieval period. It was accepted as the most, is a very normal type. Why? Because the entire hierarchical pattern, the segmentations, the type of discriminations what was there, it was completely justified in the name of religion. So, dharma नारे ए सबु व्यवस्था को गोटे सामाजिक स्वीकृति मिलुथिला, जोथि पई एहा एई भली गोटे व्यवस्था बहुत वर्ष धरी पुरुष धरिकरी आम समाज रे तार चेर मजबूत करी रखी अछि. Okay. Next, coming to the next characteristic, hereditary status. What do you mean by heredity? Heredity जहाँ को आमे ओडिया रे कहिबा which जहाँ वंशानुक्रमिक. Okay. So, here the membership of an individual in a particular caste group is based upon the birth of that person in a particular family or in a particular caste family. So, this is what we understand the hereditary status of the individual. And what is the nature of this kind of hereditary pattern of the caste system? It is very closed and rigid, it is not open. For example, I am born as a Sudra in a low caste family. Okay. So, after few years I cannot change my caste. Once I am born, this caste identity will remain with me till the end of my life. So, it is a closed identity and it is also a very rigid identity. We cannot bring any change. It is not possible to bring any change in the system. And the heredity which provides a particular social status to individual members of the caste system, that is very much, but you say that is very much the ascribed one and fixed one. What is ascribed? For that means which is given by the society, what amount of privilege that one is going to enjoy, what amount of power that one is going to enjoy, all is given by his caste identity or the caste background. So, this is how we understand hereditary status, and that status is continued generation together. That means a son of a Brahmin is supposed to be a Brahmin. He cannot play the role of a washerman or barber. गोटे ब्राह्मणर पुओ से धर्म कार्य करिबो बा शिक्षा दान करिबो एही भली भाबरे तार कार्य जहाँ रहिछि से सेटा आगुकु नब. So, this is what we understand hereditary status of the individual. Okay. Moving to the next, caste endogamy. What do you understand by endogamy? The endogamy, basically we understand that marriage within one's own caste group, right. So, when you speak about caste endogamy, that means members of a particular caste group are supposed to marry the members of their own caste group. They simply cannot marry a person from outside their caste group. This is known as caste endogamy. Again, it is of many type, like hypergamy, hypogamy. So what is hypergamy? So hypergamy or anuloma, that means a person of the higher caste can marry, particularly a man of the higher caste can marry a woman of the lower caste. This is acceptable in anuloma or hypergamy. What is hypogamy? Hypogamy is otherwise known as pratiloma. That means where a woman of the higher caste marries to a man of the lower caste. Okay. So there are certain exceptions. So what we understand by hypergamy or hypogamy, but ordinarily what we understand that caste must decide your choice of mate selection. जड़े व्यक्ति क्या विवाह करेंगे क्यों निर्दिष्ट जाति से तार जीवन साथी बाछिबे ताहा ऑलरेडी निर्धारित होइछि. So this is what we understand by caste endogamy, that means marriage within one's own caste group. Okay. So any type of marriage which violate the norm, which does not adhere to the caste norms, marrying within one's own caste group, it's seriously viewed. In some cases, they are ostracized from the community, severe punishment is given to them. Okay. So intercaste marriage is seriously viewed. So though it has many lacunas, it has many constraint because individual has no choice. The choice of mate selection is limited, but this is the practice as per the caste norm. So this is what we understand caste endogamy. And the next point is social segregation and the concept of purity and pollution. What do you mean by social segregation? ताको आमे ओडिया रे कहिबा सामाजिक पृथकीकरण. विभिन्न जाति जेतबेले भिन्न भिन्न सामाजिक अर्थनैतिक स्थिति रे तांका जीवन निर्वाह करंती सेमाने परस्पर ठारू अलगा हे थांती. आ से जो पृथकीकरण सेटा ता प्रति सामाजिक स्वीकृति रही बा सेथिपई स्वतंत्र सामाजिक व्यवस्था रही. तो ये जो सोशल सेग्रेगेशन कथा कहूछु एटा काहींकी अछि, काहींकी भिन्न भिन्न जाति को परस्पर सहित अलगा करा जायछि. If you remember, we just now we have discussed about the Bugle's definition, where he has talked about repulsion. Repulsion, what do you mean by repulsion? That means mutually excluding each other. So different caste group, they are not including, they are excluding each other. So repulsion is one of the very prime characteristic of the caste system. Okay, so that allows social segregation. And what is the purpose of social segregation? So the purpose of social segregation is to maintain social distance from each other, and that is how it encourages maintaining status quo and maintaining the supremacy of the upper caste people. Okay. So what we are discussing on the social segregation aspect, the social segregation is functional for the caste system because it maintains status quo. The upper caste people who enjoy highest privilege in the society, the practice that allow them to be dominant in the system. So this is how the upper caste people, they have influenced the system in such a way that it divides the people between pure and impure caste groups. As I told you that the caste hierarchy is justified in the name of religion. So the particular caste group which are called the purer caste group or clean caste group, they enjoy topmost position, and accordingly they want to maintain their supremacy. They want to maintain their dominance in the system. So for that, segregation is important, so that the low caste people always be dominated. They will always remain in the subservient position, and the upper caste people will always always rule over them. So from out of this idea of social segregation, the concept of purity and pollution emerges. So purity, which is regarded as something sacred, something holy, And this type of attitude, or you can say this kind of social perception, is attached with the high caste people. So, high caste people are said to be purer, sacred than the low caste people. So, accordingly there is divisions with regard to their dietary pattern, clothing style, the housing pattern, everything is defined. And this that speaks about that the high caste people are superior in all sense. They must dwell in good houses, they must eat delicious food, they must wear costly clothes, and they must be adorned with gold and silver, which is denied to low caste people. So, this shows that there is a purposeful separation which creates social segregation among various caste groups. Then moving to next, that is commensal restrictions. So, commensal restriction basically speaks about all the restrictions that are related to eating and the drinking habits. Okay. So, when you speak about the eating practices of the high caste people, as I told you, the high caste people, they are allowed to eat food cooked with oil. So, it is known as pakka food, but low caste people are denied to eat food which is cooked with oil. So, they are only allowed to eat food which is cooked with water. So, that is known as pakka food. So, conventional restrictions, even it is when you speak about, it is imposed on the drinking and the eating habits of the people. So, the concept of kacha food and pakka food, that comes to the focus. Okay. And there are many such different kind of taboos. What do you mean by taboos? All these are social prescriptions which speaks about do's and do nots, what to do, what not to do. As you know that in South India, there are many such social impositions, social prescription that the low caste people must not move during the daytime, because the shadow of the low caste people, even it is taken as enough to pollute the high caste people. So, low caste people, they are also not allowed to sit in front of the upper caste people. They are not allowed to decorate their body with gold and silver ornaments. They are not allowed to remain in pakka house or eat pakka food, I mean the food which is prepared with oil. So, such restrictions, such taboos are you can say designed by the Indian caste structure, so that the people of the low caste will always be in a subservient position, and the upper caste people, they will always rule over them and show their dominance over them. So, all those segregation, divisions, what you say, the discrimination is in practice since 1000 years in the name of religion, by saying that high caste people are purer, sacred, and low caste people are impure or not sacred. Moving to next to this picture, the thing would be more clear. You see in this picture, it is a picture of a village well. The first picture which speaks about the picture of a village well in Gujarat, and the lady is a Dalit lady which is fetching water from this well, right. So, this is an example of the social segregation, because that well is a Dalit well, that well is meant to be used by the Dalit people of the Gujarat. And the second picture, you see that some students are learning in a classroom, and there is another small girl which is sitting far away from the group of students, because that girl who is very interested in the study, but he will belong to Dalit caste. So, a village man is approaching the teacher, how do you allow that Dalit girl to sit in the class? Because usually, as per the caste norms, Dalit people, they were not allowed to receive education, they are not allowed to enter into religious institution or read scriptures like Vedas. So, they were alienated from all those social practices which was specifically meant for the upper caste people. So, this is another example of social segregation. And the third picture, you see that the tall old man which is trying to give something trying to give money to the Dalit women who are standing in front him with the begging hand. Okay. So, here the wage of these untouchable women are being paid by the old man by wrapping the money under a leaf, and that is being dropped from a safe distance, so that the ritual purity would be maintained. This is an example of the untouchability. Even in many villages of Odisha, you will find that they are not, Dalit people are not allowed to come in direct contact with the upper caste people. Even this is one of the best example of it. Then moving to next, a restriction on the choice of occupation. We know that caste system is hereditary from many contexts, and so even the economical aspect of the caste system, to which to find out a source of livelihood, occupation is very important for the sustenance, for the survival. Even that economic arrangement is defined and patterned by the caste system. And this is hereditarily followed. That means, since generations, the people know that what kind of occupation they want to take up in future for being part of a particular caste group. Gote nidhishta jatir सदस्य माने सेमाने जानती जे केउ जीविका को सेमाने ग्रहण करिबा उचित. So, this is how it speaks about hereditary occupation, and there is no scope for individual choice. So, we have many caste groups and subcaste group, and each caste group has its definite occupation, as we have already discussed in the Teli caste group and the Keuta caste group. So, there is no choice that you can change in the occupation. So, it goes on like this. And then Jati Panchayat or caste council. Now, we are talking about village panchayat, which is democratic one, and that is a healthy practice of any village community, but earlier it was not the scenario. When you look at the fundamental characteristic of the caste system, caste panchayat is one of the essential characteristic of the caste system. So, this caste panchayat is regarded as a conflict resolution mechanism. So, what is the task of caste panchayat? To resolve all disputes related to the members of different caste groups. So, it is not a formal body, there is no constitutional sanction, there is no formal written code, it is purely informal, and it is dictated and dominated by the people of the higher caste group. Okay. Usually the upper caste people, they decide, they decide the matter, they take decision that what kind of punishment that is to be given at a particular case. So, many times harsh punishment is given on the violation of the caste norm, and very often the punishment is very lighter, or you can say it is in comparison to the low caste people, it comes to the it is very lighter. Now, moving to the next, the concluding part. So, we discussed about the characteristic of the caste system. Then, what are the basic things that what we can say at the concluding part? We understand that caste is hierarchically arranged and hereditarily maintained social group with social repulsions. So, hierarchy and heredity are the prime characteristic of the caste system, and there exists a social repulsion, and it can be defined structurally as well as culturally. Structurally, it composes or it contributes to Indian social stratification, and culturally saying it defines the individual, the pattern of individual interaction. Okay. And social segregation, that is very much prominent in the caste system. There is practice of purity pollution, commensality, untouchability, which further continue to social inequality, and that is how it create further discrimination. But this is not enough you want to know about the caste system in the present context, because we know that present caste system has undergone various changes. So, in next class we shall learn about all those various changes in the caste system. Okay? Thank you.